back, everybody. This video today is specifically for a friend of mine, good working colleague, knew him for many years. We're both retired now. Obviously he was in the fire service, but he was ex-military. He was actually a Royal Marine, and as he was before he joined the fire service, and he came out of the Royal Marines, he was a qualified joiner, and obviously being interested in wood and just like myself, he decided when he retired he'd take a little project on board, and he did some very good replications of the actual Commando Dagger. Now there are, when I did the research, there's various types. There's smooth handle, there's ribbed handles, and the problem you get is sorting roughly out what is specific to him. You have to excuse the printers both going in the background. So I did a bit of research, and I noticed that what he did, he actually turned his on the lathe, the handle and everything, but then he had to shape obviously the blade. To cut a long story short, I decided that I spoke to him, and I decided that I'd try and design one from an original drawing and from photos and various other information I could get on the one that he wanted, and I'd design one and 3D print it. So hence I did. Now that is the finished item, as you can see, rather well printed, and it's not, that is quite strong at the end to say how thin that blade is, and if you look at it, it is shaped. You can see that there, that's done. It is ribbed, and it's about 3mm. I've got it as near as, damn it, 3mm, slightly longer than the original one. I could take that down a bit more, but I thought I'm not going to do that. I've got it to such a refined print, and I can actually hold that with the blade. You can see that. Now I'm going to show you the stages that I went through in developing these, but if you can see from behind me, I will put the video up of the screenshot of the, in fact I'll take you over there now. It's just as well, I might as well just take you over. Now you can all see that. I was going to do it, take the video off the computer, but I'm not going to do that. It's only a short video as this. Now you can see that is, I'll put that aside of it, you can see it's replicating that. Okay, now I actually had a drawing, and I'll show you the this is my drawing, I'll show you it, and that's it. You can see that, and I'll show you it round. You can see it all, the blade. Believe me, this took, I've drawn quite a lot of things and designed things in my 3D printing time, but this I really struggled with, to get the blade so triangular shaped, so to speak. If you look at the original blade, you can see that it's got, there's two flats on each side of the blade, and obviously go to an edge on the sides. Now to taper that down and to get that so that your lines here are perfect. Some I've seen people try to design them, and they don't, you can see where they step down. To get it ultra smooth was very difficult. It was for me. I mean, for somebody that knows Fusion 360 inside out, and I'm still learning, I'm still a beginner with this, even though I've been 3D printing for a number of years. It took some doing to get it right. Now what I'm going to do is I'll take you from that, and I'll show you all the original designs. I'll put this one up and you can see that. Now that is a 1941 design, is that one, I believe. That I got it from the website. They're all roughly the same length, but you notice this is smooth handled, and the end part for the end is different. But roughly I got the shape and the design. You can see the figures there. So yeah, it took some getting all of, but obviously mine's got the rib done, the handle, which takes some time on doing. I'm not going to show you how to design it because I struggle with it myself and I'm no expert, but you can see on the other screen all the designs. Okay, you can see that, and what I'll show you is, if you notice on the left hand side of mine here, you can see the guard, each step, and the blade. So it actually took some designing. Now what I will do is I'll show you the stages that I went through in order to get to the finished item, and it, believe me, it's taken some time, but I've done it. Now the daggers that I've got in front of me are actually, I'm going to let John have them. They're no good to me. I've got the design anyway. I am doing a video because I am going to try and do one, a 3D model out of one, a full 360 one on the CNC. I'm on with that at the moment, and I'm, to be fair to myself, I'm struggling with it. The best way to do it, and I'm having to pick up new learning skills with Vectrix and the CNC, so that might not be out for a number of months yet. But anyway, I'll take it down and I'll show you this, and I'll show you exactly at what stages I got. Right, here we are. Right, I'll take you to the actual first one that I printed out. Okay, I've not had these are all done, by the way, on the A1 bamboo A1. Up to this point, these two were done on the X1C, which is at the side of me. I've moved that from the workshop now and brought that up here, so all my printers up here now, barring the printer, the Anycubic, which I have over on the far side of the A1, and I've got the Cell Robots, that's at the side of me, but I haven't used them for a while. So the Zortrax has now gone down into the workshop, so I've got up here now all the bamboo printers. So right, this was the first one I started with. Okay, you can see I got the blade right, nice, and you can see that, but that wasn't right, and I didn't get, if you notice, it's oval shaped is the handle. That wasn't right, so back to the drawing board. So then I printed this one off. Now this, the same blade, but it didn't quite come off right at the end. You can just see a little bit of light through the end of that blade. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It didn't turn out right at the end, and the blade handle, it was short and the blade handle wasn't right, but the basics were. Okay, this was far too long here, and it just weren't right. It's too slim. Okay, I dispense with that. So then I went on to my next design. Now this is getting there. Okay, it's the same length as that one, as you notice. Them two are the same length knives. So I did it a bit better this time, but I actually made a mistake, and I didn't realise that the blade is shorter than what it should be. The handle is more or less fine, that's the same, but it wasn't. It was slightly thinner, was the handle, but the blade was short. I hadn't realised. But the guard, the hand guard, came out absolutely perfect, perfectly round. The blade is quite strong, and I was suited with that. Okay, I mean, you'd have to rub these down, and if you're going to paint them and make them somewhat, you'd have to do that. Okay, so that was my next step, and I thought, done really well there. So I produced this one. Now, as you can see, that has a shiny blade on. You can see that, and it's quite strong, both sides. And you can see the layer lines. These are all printed on the bed flat, okay, and the printed virtually, this part here, the handle, is virtually touching the bed, but it has supports underneath and the normal supports, okay, and they go right along the blade. So they printed that so you get an outside line of your, and you can see how it's made up. I don't know if you can see that. You can see how it's like that, and it gives a better effect on the blade. I did try printing some on an angle, which I'll show you. Wasn't happy, and I tried changing the supports to tree supports and putting them in manually where I wanted. Okay, now that came out pretty good. Now the shine on that is because to hold, you having a blade that thin at the end, what you will end up with is like that one there. You can see that it's nearly see-through, and the layers are coming apart. So what I do is, and I've done it on a few things before, is super glue, brushed it on both sides, and that holds the layers together, and that is quite a good, and it's really flexible. It's quite good, is the blade. So that was my ultimate. So I thought I'll try another way. This one I did in black. They're all done on the A1. This is done on the X1C. Now I did this in a different orientation, slightly twisted and up in the air. Tree supports, manual tree supports when I put them in. I did not like the finish. Okay, didn't like the finish of the blade. It's rough, it's just not right. Okay, the edges, didn't like how it was doing it, so hence I went back to laying it flat on the bed as normal. And look, can you see that? Look at that for a, and that's where the supports come off the back. You've just got to be careful when you're taking the supports off. You nick them off here and then just peel them until you get to the end, and I just put a Stanley knife right in between just to, and they come off perfect. That is, it's not that rough at the back, and I've not touched that. I've not cleaned it up whatsoever. That is, to me, perfect. Okay, so that's the stage that I'm at. X1C and A1, very little difference whatsoever, and I'm really pleased. He's got a couple of, I mean, he's going to paint them up, is John, and how he displays them, I don't know. He might do crossed, I don't know, with a badge, I don't know. But this was just a project that I wanted to do for him, being a good friend of mine and a colleague, working colleague, and I just thought this would be nice to give him. It's not presenting him with it because I don't know what he's going to do with them. I think he's going to mount them, he'll paint them, that's definitely. They need painting, they need aging a little bit as well. How he's going to do it, I don't know. Right, so that's this project done. Just a little one. So it's a project that was, because I love anything military, so and as I was saying, I'd like to see what these come out like in resin, but then you come across a new problem. Then is the fact that if you print that in resin and harden it, it's going to be pretty lethal, whereas at the moment it isn't. It's just plastic. But so I won't attempt to print these out, but it'd be nice to have seen. But anyway, so that's it for this video. I'm on my one now. I'm going to show you another one, another video, and it's regarding inserting the brass inserts, threaded inserts, into any 3D print. But that's coming up shortly, so stay tuned, look out for the video coming. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and as I always say at the end of every video, for God's sake, be safe and be careful out there. Until next time, bye for now. Bye.